Hey, I'm Spence with EnergeticCity.ca, and this is the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. And today I'm joined in the studio by Pat Ferris with the Blizzard Bicycle Club. How you doing, Pat?
Good.
Excellent. Did you cycle here?
No. Flat tire day.
Ha, tragic. Anyway, we're here to talk a little bit about the Blizzard Bicycle Club, which I recently learned has been around for 40 years, which is almost twice my age.
Holy cow.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean
Making me feel old.
I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, you probably cycle more than I do, so then, you get...
Cycling's a lot of fun.
It
good
is.
exercise, good bunch of people. You get to smell the trees. You can stop and look at something, go to get coffee. It slows you down. It's good for your health.
That's good. I have a bike, so I have no excuse. I got to get into it. But anyway, let's talk about the club. So you've been around for 40 years. Have you been around for the entirety of that time? Or?
My wife and I and another fellow from Victoria actually started the club in 1982.
Wow.
So we're all from the Victoria Wheelers originally, and we thought, well, why not start a club kind of the similar format that the Wheelers had. So the Victoria Wheelers at that time, the idea was they had a ride they have once a week, and they have a time trial and a few events, and just see what interest is out there. Because I mean, back then the population was in 1982 was probably half of what it is now.
Right.
So we didn't anticipate a lot of people, but we always had steady crowd turning up. Our numbers are anywhere from, we can have as high as 150 riders a year. Some years, but it seems our average seems to be about 50 to 70 kind of thing.
Wow.
So depending on what the weather is all about, and the number of people that are interested in riding. We have all ages, from 8 years old right on up to 81 years old.
Nice.
We do the whole range. So come on out and get thrashed by an 80-year-old. It's always humbling.
I'm sure it is. And it's not just, when people think about a cycling club, they think about a very specific type of bike, but it doesn't have to just be the cycling bike. You can ride a mountain bike if you want.
We have road bikes. Well, it doesn't matter what kind of bike you're on. Just any kind of bike, try it. That's a big thing if you want to start. So say you decided, well, I should come out riding with these guys, but we have mountain bikes that we do. We do fat tire biking that we do, especially in the wintertime.
Nice.
Road riding, which has got the classic drop bars and all that stuff, or the triathlon bars kind of thing. But your best just to come out and try it with whatever kind of bike you have. We have a time trial that we do. We're starting to run out of daylight, so our season is starting to wind down. But on Thursdays, you come out and there's 8 kilometers. So you ride just that and you kind of try it out. And you say, well, this is kind of fun. So you may get into it more, or maybe not at all. So no point running out buying a fancy bike until you decide that this is kind of what you're thinking about.
100%.
So you come out and try it and say, yeah, this is good I like this. There's somebody's got a used bike. I'll buy something from them. And if you're under 16, we have 0 membership. So it costs you nothing to join the bike club.
Nice.
If you're under 16.
And if you're over 16?
It'll cost you about $80.
That's not bad.
Which is pretty comparable to for a full 365 days a year schedule. We have about 150 events that we do, so there's lots to keep you busy. So it's money well spent.
Awesome. And how has the season been with, the wildfire smoke and all that going on? Like, has that impacted your guys' activities a lot, or?
It has. It's kind of unusual. Well, it seems every year there's something COVID was kind of unusual to deal with. But off-roading was fine because you're riding by yourself, essentially.
Yeah.
Time trialing, you're essentially riding by yourself. So there's things we could still do at that time. The smoke, really hard to deal with that. So we've had some events we had to cancel. We're very careful. We don't want to subject people to heavy smoke and that. But for some reason, I'm sure the weather people could tell you why. Out at Beldonnell, for some reason that east-west road with all the trees and everything on it, it seems to be there's very little smoke out there. We go out there thinking, it's going to be brutal, it's hard to see across the street, hard to see the planes at the airport. But we get out there and there's a breeze blowing through that actually gets rid of the smoke, and it's actually okay, which was kind of surprising. So we've been able to carry some events out there that I didn't think possible. And we've had some Sunday ones we've had to shorten up, or we make them a low effort thing. So we'll say, okay, everybody, we're going to go slow. We're going to go 20K instead of the 80K kind of thing. So, but the weather's weather. Deal with it.
That's true. It is. And you know, one name that we keep seeing that pop up in the Baldonnel time trial is Nigel Ray. You said that he's just joined the club, like this is his first year.
He is. He's a keener. He's a fit guy.
He's an unstoppable machine.
Yep. He pitches in and helps at the club. He's a real good club guy.
That's awesome.
But him and Ray Avanthay have been dueling it out. So Ray will beat him by a few seconds, and maybe Nigel back and forth it goes.
That's
so
some healthy competition.
It makes it fun. Exactly.
Absolutely. And you know, obviously, you've been with the club for a long time. What's it like? What is it about biking that keeps you on the bike?
It's good fitness, because normally you're always looking for something to do, and fitness is like cod liver oil if you don't like what you're doing. So you find something that's fun to do. So you, like my case, it's cycling. There's a lot of other people that feel the same way. So we're all cyclists. We get out. It's all ages, good bunch of people. You're always kind of pushed along a little further to ride the longer distances. You got somebody there saying, "Oh, come on, don't be a wuss. Keep going. We can do this whole thing." And that does make a difference. You know, kind of moves you along. You've got to get out to the different events we have. I shouldn't say gotta, but you feel obligated.
No, you have to. As if you're watching this video, you are now legally obligated. No, just kidding.
But it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, and you find when you're having fun, and it's a good bunch of people, and it's not expensive. A lot of people have got a bike of some kind hidden in the basement that's covered with dust.
They got to reinflate the tires, but it's fine.
Exactly. We can even show you how to do a few of those things. You know. So yeah, it's a good bunch of people.
That's wicked. Oh man, I just blanked on what I was going to ask you. Safety. When it comes to bike safety, now you have to share the road with other people.
We all share. It doesn't matter what you're driving, you share the road, and people here are very good with that. When you're now exception, I'm going to say the exception is the highway, because the highway, of course, is a ton of people in a hurry to go somewhere. So the Alaska Highway is not a great place to ride on, but you do. I've ridden on the highway. A lot of people do. There's people that continually riding north from like Alaska down. Some people as far as South America.
Yeah, some people in this office actually bike to Charlie Lake. And
back and forth all the time. So the highway is not a bad place, but there's so many better places to ride. If you're a bit nervous to ride on the roads with vehicles, I mean, maybe you're starting out and you're not too keen to ride, you know, because you got to get out and try it to see what this is all like. Fort St. John has a great system. There's about 30 kilometers of paved, I guess you can't call them trail, they're actually like a proper cycling road. There's tons of them around town. And you can go all over town with them. They're probably as good as anything you'll find in the big city, considering the area of Fort St. John. We have this excellent system, so you can ride those. If you're off-roading, you do the community trails. You can mind the other people on the trails as well too, but those are good. And there's a couple of good mountain bike trails out there, like the Cactus Trails the bike club built some years back down in the Beaton Valley. It's very, very good. They're about 8 kilometers of trail, really hot, excellent place to ride. And then we've also just finished building some trails out at Beaton Park.
Oh, awesome.
So that's all. There's the main ski trails, and then there's the single track trails as well.
Awesome.
So there's some kind of road for whatever you're doing. Road-wise, you can go north of town, like out towards Cecil Lake, Prespa Way, almost anywhere. And they're big, wide, paved roads, very little traffic compared to a city. You're hard to see any vehicles. And what vehicles are, they're very good. They give you lots of room because everybody kind of knows somebody in the bike club. So we're kind of a well-known crowd.
You're joining a very prestigious club.
Exactly.
What are some safety tips for people who are just starting out and drivers who are sharing the road with cyclists?
Motorists are already doing a pretty good job. You just give us some room. That's all we ask. As far as the rider yourself, you're gonna wear your helmet. You may want to wear something visible so you can kind of see what's going on out there. A few people have the little red tail lights on their bikes. That's an option. But yeah, just ride the road like you were driving a car. Essentially, you're gonna stay to the side. There's just most of the roads have paved shoulders on them, so they're good lots of room to be there.
Yeah.
Mind the weather. We get a snowstorm, and we're riding in the spring and the fall. You're not going to see it in the summer, but in the fall and you can ride some cases in the winter. So you got to mind what the weather's doing.
Yeah, don't wear a white jacket.
You'll be flying down the hill and hit an icy spot or something like that. So you kind of got to be mindful of that, just like driving. Yep. Absolutely. We're the same rules as a motorist does. You're on the same side of the road as a motorist. You stop like the motorist. All the rules are the same for a bicycle as they are for a car.
Just be mindful of your surroundings, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Ride defensively. A deer might jump in front of you, or a moose. So yeah.
Happened to me the other day, actually, when I was driving out in Charlie Lake. There was just a moose there, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, you don't want to run into them with anything.
No, at that moose versus car, it's not going to end very well for me.
No, it's...
all right. Well, is there anything else you want to add about the Bicycle Club before I let you go?
You can check in at blizzardbikeclub.com.
Okay.
We've got our site's got all our information, what we do, registration. Joining the club is online. We also have a Facebook page, Blizzard Bicycle Club. So there's all the information. It's up to date what we do, so you can see what the events are. And yeah, I bet most people know somebody in the bike club, so don't be afraid to join. We're not, everybody thinks, well, we're going to win the Tour de France next week. No, we're just a bunch of schmo, recreational cyclists that enjoy being out there. And we had some guys that done very well on the big screen, but by and large, we're just a bunch of cyclists just looking for enjoyment.
Mm-hmm. And you can learn from them too. So get out there, get on a bike, and don't do like I did, where I just didn't. So.
Yeah, never too late.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Pat, for joining me today. And this has been the Community Roundup, which is sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Spencer with EnergeticCity.ca. And again, this is Pat Ferris with the Blizzard Bicycle Club in Fort St. John. Pat, thank you so much for coming out today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for watching.
No problem.